Hello and welcome to another edition of Itineraries in the territory of the Nevada Silver Trails. The towns that make up the character, the charm of the Nevada Silver Trails are filled with outdoor adventure, recreation, and mystery. Join us as we set out to explore what there is to see, what there is to do on this road trip between Las Vegas and Tonopah, Nevada via the Extraterrestrial Highway. The first leg of this itinerary starts right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Head north on Interstate 15, 21 miles towards Mesquite, Nevada, till you get to Highway 93. There'll be a sign that says Pioche, Ely. Green and teeming with wildlife. The Pahranagat Valley, just 60 miles ahead. This is ranching country and home to the Pahranagat National Wildlife Refuge. There's 3 areas here: the lower lake, photography, fishing, hunting. The middle marsh, primarily a hunting area, but the northern area, pretty good for fishing too. Along the shores of the upper Pahranagat Lake are cottonwood trees, along with facilities for camping and picnicking. The refuge is located on the Pacific Flyway. It's an essential stopover for waterfowl and also songbirds as they migrate south during the fall and back north in the early spring. Now, if you'd like to stay the night here, they do have campgrounds. In fact, you could stay up to 7 days in a 30-day period. And the cost? It's absolutely free. Now, if you get here and there is no place to camp, you could head just north of Pahranagat Lake to the town of Alamo, Nevada. Several hotels here. The Alamo Inn, the Sunset View Inn, both 50s, 60s style motels. Then there's a gorgeous bed and breakfast. It's called A Cowboy's Dream, and it's really all about the Old West. Windmill Ridge, right up the road, has a full restaurant and a bakery, along with 15 beautifully themed cabins. Now, there are only 2 gas stations on this entire itinerary. Sinclair's Gas, right here, also has a full supermarket, bakery, and a deli. Now, we want to really stress, make sure you get gas at one of these 2 gas stations. Next gas will be about 220 miles. That'll be Tonopah, Nevada. Shell, gas, and mini marts here on your left-hand side. Now, straight across the street from Shell is Ash Springs Hot Springs. Look for this dirt road. There are no signs. Go in about 300 feet, and you will not believe it. It's a true oasis in the middle of the desert. The water is 85 degrees. Lush vegetation, beautiful landscapes. You're more than welcome to take a dip. The next leg of this itinerary starts at Junction 375. Continue up Highway 93, 15 miles from Pahranagat Lake. We're going to be making a left turn. But before we get started up the road, I want to show you a couple of interesting things to do right here at this intersection. First is the historical marker for Crystal Springs, which was used as a watering hole and a campsite, and a main stopover for the Mormon Trail alternate route. This was in the late 1860s. Next up is Nesbitt Lake. Follow that orange line. That's Highway 318, 1 mile. Look for this sign. Key Pittman Wildlife Management Area, Nesbitt Lake. Hunting and fishing is allowed here, but it is seasonal. So to check to see what season's open for fishing or hunting, go to LincolnCountyNevada.com or NevadaSilverTrails.com. You can also pick up all kinds of information on other things to see and do here. Okay, it's time to head out to Rachel, Nevada, the UFO capital. First, we're going to be heading back to Highway 375. Once there, you'll be making a right turn, and we're heading 40 miles to Rachel, Nevada. There are unidentified flying objects in the skies over Rachel, Nevada. There's no question about it. There is a question, however, about their origin. Some people believe that the strange lights and oddly shaped aircraft that are frequently seen out here are not of this earth. Nonsense, say others. UFOs are simply military aircrafts operating on a secret airbase known as Area 51, adjacent to Rachel. Rachel is the home to the Little Alien Inn. They have a restaurant here, a bar, and a little gift shop. And the walls are covered with pictures of UFOs that people have sent them from around the United States. They do get thousands of people a year come through here looking for UFOs. So stop in, talk to some of the locals. I'm sure they'll answer any questions you might have. Okay, it's time to head to our next itinerary. While the main attraction out here is looking for UFOs, geocaching, which is looking for hidden treasures with a GPS, is quickly becoming just as popular as looking for UFOs. This is where we had turned left to go to Tonopah, but we're going to be making a right turn, a little side trek, 30 miles, a little bit out of the way, and 30 miles back is 60, but Lunar Crater is our destination. Look for this sign, Lunar Crater. You'll be making a right turn, and you will be going back in 9 miles. Lunar crater is a volcanic field formed millions of years ago. It's controlled by the BLM and is in the Pancake Mountain Range. Lunar crater and the surrounding area was used in the late 1960s to train the astronauts for all the Apollo missions. The lunar crater volcanic field covers more than 100 square miles and contains cinder cones, lava flows, and craters. Fantastic landscape, absolutely worth a side trip. Now, this is a dirt road to get in here, but any vehicle can make it in with no problems. The BLM does keep it graded. Time to head to Tonopah, Nevada. So make a left turn. As soon as you get back to Highway 6, go past the Extraterrestrial Highway, Highway 375. Total mileage from Lunar Crater to Tonopah, 84 miles. While you're here in Tonopah, there's a couple of must-see museums. First, the Tonopah Historic Mining Park, both an indoor and an outdoor museum. They cover the entire history of Tonopah. Excellent, excellent museum. Located behind the Mizpah Hotel in downtown Tonopah. The next is the Central Nevada Museum. They cover the entire history of the Central Nevada area and is also an indoor and outdoor museum. Now, go to TonopahNevada.com or NevadaSilverTrails.com. They have all kinds of video on what to do and see, not only around Tonopah, but the entire Nevada Silver Trails area. They also have a full listing of all the hotels, the motels, and restaurants right here in Tonopah. We would like to thank you for joining us on this road trip from Las Vegas to Tonopah, Nevada via the Extraterrestrial Highway. Total mileage on this trip, 320 miles, and is definitely a full-day adventure. Again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on your next itinerary in the territory of the Nevada Silver Trails.